Hello, everyone. My name is Pascal. I'm head of startup programs at Scaleway, and I'm extremely happy to be here today and to talk to you about our startup program. So our startup program started about now 9 months ago when I joined Scaleway, and the idea behind it was really to find a way to support the startups and help them in their scaling phase. So we created the startup program. It's a time-limited cloud computing partnership program where we help startups and support them with advice and through our experts, but also with communication and support through visibility. And we have two programs. We started with the global program, which is a one-year program offering where startups being onboarded on the program are usually more on around the Series A. It's more mature startups that already have a program and already have a service and are in their commercialization phase, really in the scaling phase. And we also launched a few months ago the early stage startup program, which is a 6-month program, and it's more dedicated to early stage startup with already running services, but that are just starting the commercialization. And our programs are really sector agnostic. We have all types of startups in the program that is going to go from medtech, fashion tech, SaaS, AI solutions. So it's really diverse, and we are really agnostic on that side. We prefer to onboard startups that are going to be around the pre-seed stage to Series A. Why? Because it's startups that are going to already have a solution and they already have a portfolio of clients, and makes a lot more sense to help them in their scaling. We are a global program. We have startups from all around the world. We have them in North America. We have them in Europe. We also have them in Southeast Asia. So all startups from all around the globe can apply to our program. And another important point is we work in batch. It means that every month we onboard selected startups. So the way it works is we look at all the startups that are applying to the program from the 15th of the month till the 15th of the next month. And we take all the applications. We do a first pre-screening with our experts internally, the cloud solution architect team, and we select some few startups to then move on to the next stage, which is our selection committee. And at the selection committee, it's C-level, and we select the few startups that will be onboarded in both programs. So it's around 4 to 5 every month on the global program, and about 10 or a little bit less in the early stage program. And I say that because sometimes I get emails of why I haven't been selected, and you always have to remember that it's in comparison of all the applications we get on the selected month. But you can always apply later on if you haven't been selected. The perks are, there are many perks that are coming with the program. Of course, the credits that are usually the thing we push first, and it can go up to 36,000 euros in cloud credits. But for me, more importantly, it's all the support on the technical side with our experts internally at Scaleway, but also on the communication and marketing side that is being done with my team through different events, networking events, masterclass, but also via our podcast that we have for the program. When I say that for me it's important is I believe that a startup program shouldn't be only about the credits and be like, here you go, but really following the startups and helping them scale with their business. And it's not only about giving them free credits, but it's also giving them information and helping them in the learning process of scaling a company. And that's why we have put in place masterclasses that are around business, marketing, communication, but also networking events with meet and greet, with our podcast. We have published already 30 episodes from startups that have been onboarded in our global program, where they get the chance to showcase and present their services. And also dedicated perks from partners like Twilio and Grid, MangoPay, to help our startups also with their own services. How to apply? It's easy. Just go on scaleway.com/startup-program, and you'll be able to find all the informations and the application form to apply to our program. And now I'll give the stage to my coworker, Luke. Luke, welcome on stage.
Yeah, I assume. Well, as we get that sorted, I'll give an introduction to myself. So my name's Luke Poulton. I've come on board to support the growth of the startup program into the UK alongside Pascal. And I think first and foremost, a really good place to start is why the UK and why the UK is such an important geography to target. So anybody who is really well versed in the global startup ecosystem will be well aware of the Genome Startup Report. It essentially scores locations based on their viability for startups. And these metrics are based on funding access, market reach, how connected the city is, the talent within the city, and the knowledge. And how they split knowledge is between research and the patents that sit within the geography. In the most recent report, London came joint second with New York, second only to Silicon Valley itself. And there was really two key drivers for this. Firstly, access to capital investment. And secondly, the talent available within the city. So the UK government, I know some other cities are also pushing these startup visas, but London seems to go that one step further in supplementing a whole host of training programs for these startups and allowing access to a wide range of grants, of which never need to be paid back. That coupled with the fact that the average seed round that takes place in London exceeds the global median by over £100,000. So immediately you can see that you can get access to money a little bit easier, but also you're getting more money. So you can see quite quickly how that becomes quite an attractive situation for startups. Can we go to the next slide? And now it's worth sort of covering off, I guess, the UK in numbers. Simply put, it's an absolute hotbed for investment in co-working. So currently there are 210 registered accelerators and incubators in the UK. And this isn't even inclusive of high net worth individuals or VC funds that also are investing in tech startups in the city. As you can see, that this is obviously why it leads to better access to funding than all other locations other than Silicon Valley itself. Also, we have 5,000 co-working spaces. Due to our little landmass and high prices in office space, it's been an absolute explosion of co-working environments, of which startups are, of course, their primary customers. So from a partnership perspective, this is massively encouraging. Of course, right now, with COVID regulations, it's become a slight threat to the business model, but the UK is fortunate that we have an exit plan. And by the end of June, we should be able to engage really well with those guys. And then finally, we have 10,000 plus startups, within the UK and Ireland already. Over 60% of these sit within technology, so a high percentage are going to be utilising cloud, with many deep tech and life sciences companies to connect with. So it's a really exciting ecosystem to be a part of. Okay, next slide, please. Now we've got to talk about geographical targeting. I think when anybody thinks of the UK and startups within the UK, you think, right, if you're not in London, you're not taking yourself seriously as a startup. And this was true 5 years ago, for sure. It's home to Silicon Roundabout, Shoreditch, and about 30% of UK startups are still based within London and its boundaries. But what I will concede is the majority of accelerators and incubators are still based within the city limits. However, Bristol, for an instance, has now founded a real large tech base due to the universities in the area, but also the travel connections to London. For example, it's an hour from Bristol to London and provides very cheap office space. So again, a real attractive prospect for a number of startups and tech entrepreneurs. And then we move north to Manchester. There's a real strain. Anybody who spent a lot of time in the UK will see that there's a real big divide between the north and south of the country. It's all very strange, but it kind of is what it is. But Manchester is now considered the tech hub of the north. The reason being, lots of large businesses migrated away from London 10 to 15 years ago in the hope of finding cheaper labour and cheaper places to basically set up sticks. And so that's led to a whole host